Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your ever-loving host, Shorty. And somebody has actually recently again pointed out that I speak too quickly. I promise it's not on purpose, but when you're doing a 5-minute video, you've kind of got to just get into it. And that's what I'm going to do. We're going to get straight into The Girls of Dimension 13 from Aftershock Comics. Title like that, going to interest me. The idea of what seems to be young women doing witchcraft together in a house. Yes, cool. Exactly the kind of stuff I love. And there ends pretty much everything positive I'm going to say about this one. I am not a fan, and I should have been. It's kind of stuff that's pitched at my taste. But straight off the bat, I've got to say, artwork did not impress me. It feels so overly simplistic that it's almost just regressive. I'm using the word regressive a lot when I'm talking about this one. I'm going to show you just a quick panel of the artwork there, get some light on it. It's perfectly competent. There's absolutely nothing about that where I'm like, well, that's wrong, this is not how it works. But there is so little to it. And I don't even mean like in terms of using symbolism as an art form. I mean, I suppose like some demon thing. It just looks like Darth Maul. An awful lot of stuff like that is just the way it goes. There is a bit later on where they do appear to actually try something. I'm trying to find the page. I should have bookmarked it. Yeah. As they've gone for some like really surreal bit of artwork. So it shows that there is some talent there, but it doesn't really add much else to it at all. The line work is simple. The characters are, distinct, don't get me wrong, but in a way of like, a skin tone and hair color than like actual obvious, really intricate facial design. Costumes, again, are kind of basic. There's no real extra work put in on them to make it look like clothes actually hanging off a human figure. It reminds me a little bit of like last gen video game stuff where the clothes just kind of are a shell that moves around an object in space. It bugs me. It's not great. Writing wise, again, perfectly competent. There's a little bit where somebody gets introduced as Abigail, creates it to Abby, and then all of them goes, what now? And that's pretty much the only bit of like really naturalistic dialogue I felt throughout. He was kind of interrupted and asked a question in a rude manner, but felt totally normal. Everything else goes quite being stilted. But again, the writing is nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't do anything exceptional. Here we get to the big crux of the issue for me, is that this story has opportunities to do something really cool and interesting. I've been reading Unkindness of Ravens recently, and it's been absolutely brilliant. For anyone who's been following this kind of stuff for a while, things that like The Craft and Sabrina Teenage Witch, stuff like that. I really like that kind of thing. Don't know what it is. Maybe I was watching The Craft when I was a kid, and ever since then I've really enjoyed this kind of story of basically females going off doing cool magic and being all awesome and everything. This is not that. They have magic powers and everything, but everything is just moving so fast that there's never any chance to build up suspense about what's going to happen. There's never an experience of discovery throughout it. It's literally these four people all know they can do magic. They didn't know the other people do magic, but there's no like, oh my god, you can do magic? Yeah, cool, I can do magic too. It doesn't feel like, oh man, I can't tell him I can do this. This is weird. Imagine going up to some person you've met like half an hour ago and saying, hey, I can cast spells or I can read minds. You wouldn't say that, but these people just like, oh yeah, cool, totally, I can do magic. Yeah, we live in this house, it's just like full of magic stuff. So let's all just talk about magic, how cool magic is, and what magic we can do. It just feels like there's no real reason for any of this, and it's just so worryingly simplistic. I was talking about the way the characters are drawn. There's a certain way you can draw with words as well in terms of describing the personality of a character. They do such a bad job of this one. It is like a one-stroke personality for everyone that the aftermatter at the end, where you basically got like a little bit of a bio for each of the four main characters, they have to include personality notes in that. And it's like, if these characters were well enough written that we know what their personality was just with the pages and pages you've given them, this extra few paragraphs at the end would be totally unnecessary. But either they were trying to get to a page count and couldn't figure out how to do the story well enough, or they knew that this was not well written. They knew that these characters were just so one-dimensional and so lacking in anything that makes you want to empathize with them. They have to tell you, it's like, no, there's more to them. Honest, look at this stuff too. And it just feels like it's lazy writing. it can be very hard to sell these because the only thing I can think of is they were aimed at maybe younger readers, but even that it feels like it's almost an insult to the younger readers because like they still have like overcomplicated sentence structure and they still deal with quite adult matter in them, but it's just the storytelling is so bad that I'm going to struggle. I do quite well selling stuff that I love because I can get really excited about it. If anyone's been in my shop, they know I can wax lyrical about things I adore. This one I don't think is going to be the case. It's disappointing and I feel really bad about that, but what can you do? Anyway, that's it from me. I'm going to hopefully review something better tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, everyone. Bye.